Let's jump right into this explainer tailored specifically for you O-level Islamiyat students out there. Today, we're unpacking Hadith number 2, which is all about the foundational rules for communal conduct. Whether you're gearing up for your 2058 syllabus exams or, just wanting to really understand the core of Islamic social etiquette, you are in the exact right place. Because in Islam, the community is deeply structured, balanced, and relies on every single person to form this perfect whole. So let's explore how we fit into and support the broader community around us.
Here's our quick roadmap to perfectly structure those exam answers. We'll be hitting the essence of true belief, a key historical example, Part A for core teachings, Part B for daily implementation, and finally, spreading kindness.
None of you believes until he wants for his brother what he wants for himself. Now, what's absolutely profound here is the strict condition this puts on your belief. It doesn't say your belief is just a little flawed, it literally dictates that you simply cannot have complete faith if you're selfish. Think about what you naturally want for yourself. Love, respect, help when you're in a tough spot, a roof over your head. Well, true belief requires you to desire those exact same things for your fellow human beings.
So, the crucial takeaway here is that having complete Iman, being a true believer, means you want the exact same benefits and respect for your brothers and sisters as you do for yourself. Look around at society today, and unfortunately, it's often the total opposite, right? We want to score higher than our classmates, we want the absolute best clothes, we want to outshine everyone, but a true mu'min, a true believer, can never be entirely self-centered. If you're lacking that basic empathy, if you lack that unity and care for others, then fundamentally your Iman is weak. You're missing the absolute essence of Islam, which is built entirely on community and selflessness.
Moving on to our historical example, the incredible bond between the Ansar and the Muhajirun.
This history brilliantly illustrates what happens when this hadith is actually put into action. When the Muhajirun migrated from Mecca to Medina, they had to leave everything behind. They literally had nothing. But the Ansar, the helpers in Medina, they didn't just toss them a few leftovers or stick them in a temporary tent. No, they proved their Iman by dividing their own properties and their own wealth. They gave them the very food off their plates and shared the homes they lived in. They looked at the Muhajirun and essentially said, "What I want for myself, I want for you." It's honestly the most perfect, practical demonstration of Hadith number 2 in human history.
All right, let's pivot to Part A of your exam, which is all about the core Islamic teachings.
When the examiner asks for the core teachings for your 2058 Paper 1, Question 1A, this is where you need to focus. Fraternity and brotherhood. This means recognizing that all Muslims are brothers and sisters, just as it's mentioned in Surah Al-Hujurat. No doubt, all Muslims are brothers. This means we don't just exist passively alongside each other, we are actively responsible for supporting one another and being facilitators of good.
Think about the everyday hypocrisy for a second. Why is it that we're absolutely over the moon when our dad gets a new car, but we sulk in jealousy if the neighbor gets one? It perfectly captures our default mindset. If it benefits us, we expect everyone to celebrate. But if a neighbor, or even a friend, achieves something great, we kind of quietly resent it. But here's the thing. If you wouldn't want someone to be miserable about your success, you cannot be miserable about theirs. Happiness in Islam is something that's meant to be shared.
Because of this, the Hadith strictly forbids these destructive traits. We're talking about jealousy of someone's achievements or ill wishes, like secretly hoping your cousin doesn't get into medical college just because you didn't. It also covers holding grudges, selfishness, and breaking blood relations. Let me emphasize that last one. Breaking family ties is a really sad reality in many extended families today, where relatives just completely stop speaking to each other. But the Islamic teaching is clear. The one who severs blood ties will not enter Jannah. To genuinely follow Hadith number 2 is to actively, consciously reject all of these toxic behaviors.
Now let's tackle Part B of your exam question, daily implementation. How do we actually live this out?
The easiest way to wrap your head around this is to set achievable goals, scaling your good conduct outward. You start small. Step 1, your immediate family. Treat your brothers, sisters, and parents exactly how you want to be treated. Once you've got that down, you expand it to Step 2, your neighbors. Then Step 3, society at large. And finally, Step 4, as you grow and maybe travel the world, this respect extends to all mankind. You never degrade someone just because they have a different faith. You offer universal respect.
Let's bring this into your daily life at school. Consider the fact that almost every physical fight starts with a quote-unquote bad joke or some sarcastic mocking that actually leaves deep traumatic scars. Surah Al-Hujurat specifically tells us not to make fun of another person. We often think we're just being casual with our friends, but mocking really hurts. Bullying leaves emotional scars that people carry for the rest of their lives. Look, if you wouldn't want a joke to tear down your own self-esteem, you literally have no right to do it to a classmate. Respect is a two-way street. If you want respect from teachers and peers, you have to be the first one to give it out.
Now, let's talk about caring for domestic helpers. Put yourself in their shoes for a second. Would you want to freeze through winter without warm clothes? Or be spoken to disrespectfully by the very people you're cooking and cleaning for? Of course not. So how can we call ourselves good Muslims if we aren't good to the people working right inside our own homes? Address them with high respect, make sure they have proper winter gear and plenty of food. Wanting for your brother what you want for yourself means recognizing that their basic human dignity is completely equal to your own.
And remember, helping out isn't always about handing over money. As students, you have the gift of education. You could easily spend an hour on the weekend teaching a helper's child their ABCs. Or think about the adults. We live in such a digital world, and so many impoverished individuals struggle with digital forms, Nadra ID renewals, or getting a driving license. You know how to navigate that stuff. You desire an easy, educated life for yourself, so you have to actively try to facilitate that for the people around you who might be struggling.
Finally, let's wrap up by looking at spreading kindness in society at large.
We see this all the time at public gatherings or weddings, right? Established groups will just stare down a newcomer and completely alienate them. Imagine being that new person. You'd want a warm smile. You'd want to feel welcome. So be the person who actually provides that comfort. As you walk into your 2058 exam, and honestly, as you walk through life, let this hadith be your filter. Before you speak, before you judge, ask yourself one simple question. Are you truly demanding for your brother what you demand for yourself?